Happy semi-final day, Draft Drafters. It's Dan, it's JP, and the French are out. For those of you who are World Cup fans, they literally just finished losing 2-0 to Spain, and so a team that kind of steamrolled through everybody could not solve the Spanish defense. And I actually texted this little soccer group chat that I got at the beginning of the game, dude, saying, it's Bastille Day. Does that help or hurt the French? Well, let's just say they did not cover themselves in glory on kind of their biggest. It's almost like their Independence Day, right? And they fell about as flat as the Americans did around theirs. So,
well, switching gears real quick, you did not hear my can pop yet because.
Are you still deciding what you're drinking?
No, I'm gonna drink this stout I've been sitting on. I'm tired of looking at it. It's the Boulevard Brewing Irish Cream Barrel Aged Stout, 11%.
But
here's the thing: it's in collaboration with Five Farms Country Cork in Ireland.
Fun.
So there is milk in this, but thankfully, I looked on the side of the can. There's instructions on what you have to do before you can even open it.
All right. What are the instructions for that bad boy?
It says cow tip for optimal enjoyment because I don't know what the name. I guess the name of it's Irish Cream Barrel Aged Stout, but on this, it's got cows all over it.
Yeah, I'm calling it
in
cow
collaboration with the farm. I should have been called cow tipper, especially with this. And this is the coldest can that ever lived, by the way. It says for optimal enjoyment, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Invert can 3 times. Okay. Doesn't tell me to pause, so I'm just doing it. Mm-hmm. Then it says pour hard in the center of the glass and then sit back and enjoy. So I've got to let this foam.
No, you got to do the thing that people do when you basically just take the can, tip it over, and let it go. So
yeah, but it's gonna foam up.
Have fun with that. If it's done right. No, dude, let it go. Let it go, man. Tip it straight up. That's how you do those things. I know it's gonna seem like it's gonna foam all over the place, but it won't. It won't foam all over the place.
Well, I don't have room.
Admittedly, you don't have an actual pint glass. That is part of it. Apparently it's aged in Irish whiskey barrels rather than bourbon barrels for you on this one, dude. So that should be fun for you. Should give you a different character to get in on that. But that's why it's a good question. I don't know, man. Probably should spit that out live as we're doing the show. But yeah,
it's gonna be
so you know why. You know why it's tipped, by the way? It's because it's your favorite style. Well, it's also your favorite way to carbonate a beverage, man. It's nitro. I love we both take a drink at the same time. It's always fun when that happens. Like all of a sudden, there's 2 seconds of silence. Are you happy?
This is pretty damn good.
All right.
This is interesting, man.
We'll get a full takedown from you, right around the halfway mark. But that is a pleasant look that you had right there. I'm happy.
You've got to try this.
I'm happy for you. Well, all right. I'll see if I can find one somewhere. I don't know, man. That might not be
I know I
can't
still.
One. Was that you got that at Horrocks or what was that?
Money.
Oh, all right. Well, there you go then. Yeah, snag me one. Sounds like fun. And I'll try to find a day when it's below 90 to try to crack it open. We'll see what happens.
I'll save my take for halftime, but that is interesting.
Yeah, well, we'll see how it opens up over the course of the rest of the show. So today, again, like I said, soccer is still going on. The offseason is still going on more or less for the NFL teams. They're just about to start reporting for camp, and all the guys are going to start running around in shorts again before they can finally put pads on here in a few weeks. We are only a couple weeks out from the first preseason game, which is, it's starting to get to be the fun time, dude.
Wow. We are.
Right?
It never hit me till right now. I was like, dude, it's like a month out, but it is like 3 weeks, 3.5 weeks.
Game it's August 6th. So it's only 3 weeks, man. Less than a month.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whew. That's fun.
Right? When you talk about training camps, right? Rookies are starting to show up at the end of this week. And then everybody else is starting sometime next week, basically. So next week and week and a half, something like that. And that's exciting, right? It's fun. But we still aren't quite at the point where anything's happening. And you and I, again, we've talked about this ad nauseum, are not the kind of people who are going to be like, a guy stubbed his toe while he was delivering groceries, and so he's going to be out for 2
everything.
Weeks. Right, yeah, all that stuff.
He was out there for 2 routes. He was out there for 2. He caught 2 of 2. Exactly. Yes, he caught them all.
Well, yeah, you get Ben Johnson. I'm buying Luther Burden stock. I'm like, well, you better. You're his coach. That's not a good sign if you don't like your second-year player. It's like, again, some of this stuff, you just got to parse through the the coach speak and all that stuff. But while we were trying to figure out what we want to talk about over the course of the next couple of weeks, we got a bunch of fun stuff planned. But you and I both looked at the schedule.
You finally did an idea.
Yeah, right, exactly. It's usually JP is the man when it comes to that kind of stuff. And I just sort of agree and we move on. But this one actually came out of what happened last week. So for those of you who are huge video game fans, sports video game fans, right around now is when college football gets released, right? Now they've finally gotten back to being able to do a game. Because again, it stopped back in 2014, for those of you who don't remember the history. Stopped after 2014 because of all of the NIL stuff that hadn't been implemented yet. And so they couldn't get the licensing to work out, et cetera, because of the way the rules were back then. But they finally rebooted it again in 2025. And it's only been getting better as far as everybody's been considering graphics, et cetera, stuff like that. But they just dropped the new version of the game. And while we've become accustomed to seeing microtransactions in, all of the online multiplayer stuff where people just basically buy the best gear or silly skins, I don't know if you've bought anything in your Fortnite stuff. I know you've gotten a bunch of silly skins and things like that you've just accumulated through the points.
But not a lot. You kind of like get the battle pass, so you buy that once.
Okay, gotcha.
And then as you do earn, it gets you that stuff, but like you get these things called V-Bucks in the battle pass, which is always the exact amount to buy the next battle pass. So it's kind of like you buy the battle pass once, and you just, if you don't spend your V-Bucks on other stuff, then you just
keep rolling it over. Gotcha.
Yeah, you just roll it over. But if you you spend those V-Bucks, then you got to buy the next battle pass. And once in a while, I've spent the V-Bucks on a character that doesn't come for free in the battle pass.
Sure.
Which then means the next season you got to buy it. So yes, I have. But
again, you also got the dude out of that as well. So, you have to abide. It's understandable, man.
The dude was the first character I got on that.
I believe that.
Well, like it wasn't like one that
wasn't
unlocked.
Part of it. Yeah.
Like as soon as I got like I let my V-Bucks sit there, and then that showed up in the shop. I was like, okay,
that was easy.
Well, that's happening. Call it the dude. Call it Dude Reno. Call it Fat Thor. I don't care. That's my guy.
Exactly. And so, but that's my point. It's like that people are accustomed to that. What they haven't been accustomed to is paying $70 for a video game and then having the microtransactions show up in just the normal gameplay, like the you versus computer gameplay. And this year, EA Sports, exactly, they tried to sneak it in to the, basically the two types of, in the gameplay for college football where you're either developing a player or you're trying to develop a coach, right? So you're trying to do a career as a coach or a development as a player, and they basically made it to where you would have had to play, I think some people are saying somewhere between 20 and 60 seasons as a head coach to get your coach even close to maxed out stats. And so it's one of those things where you had to win something like you had to have several million points to fully upgrade your coach, like in the 8 to 9 million or something, and you got like $20,000 for winning a national championship. So it's one of those things where it was going to take an absurd amount of time. But if you wanted to pay for it, then you can boost it up. But you already paid $70 for the game. And so this is one of the few times where social media actually did good things and didn't just cause a mess, right? Because people banded together and basically put EA on blast and said, this sucks. It was basically play don't pay was kind of the hashtag that was going around. And it worked. EA backed off. They got rid of those microtransactions. Good for them. Because they're still going to make plenty of money off people doing things in the
It's a $70 game that people have been waiting for a decade.
Well, admittedly, this game is thankfully enough coming out every year now. But it's still one of those situations where it just wasn't cool, right? You don't do that. And I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to try it again at some point, but they got pushed back this time, and that was nice to see. But that got me thinking, what are the best football games? Like when you look at the course of history, and you and I both grew up in the 90s, so we may have a slightly different take on it than people who are younger listeners or even older listeners who started out with an Atari that had a bunch of little dots going around or something like that. But that was a fun thing to think about. What are the best football games and why? And again, this is where we get to have so much fun by being completely subjective here. But true to form, we're doing six-packs, man. I want your 6 favorite, or I guess best, combination best or favorite. You can put that in there because don't get me wrong, I got 1 or 2 on this list that are not the best games, but they were fun to play as a kid. So this is where it gets into. And again, as far as I'm concerned, you can go wherever you want with it. It can be console games, it could be handheld games, it could be anything along those lines, as long as it is either pro or college football.
All right, and we're doing this back and forth.
Yeah, let's go 1 for 1. Yep.
Man, I got this. Beer is a thick gal, dude.
I guess.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
it is good.
The throat clear. That's
dude, it is. I don't know what to tell you. I like it, though.
Sure.
All right, number 6 for me on the game. So that's the first half, right? And then the second half, we're doing the second part of your idea.
Okay. Yeah, exactly. We're just going to talk about stuff.
So 6 for me, I did NFL Blitz.
See, I almost put Blitz on the list, and I didn't because I didn't play it enough.
So I didn't have like a specific, and I actually don't know if they had like
They had a couple versions. They had a couple versions of it, but I think they only had like 2 or 3.
All I know is like the arcade like one. Because what was that place at CMU, the malt shop? That's what it was called. Where you could go get like the Mediterranean, like chicken shawarma and whatnot.
Oh yeah, get a Euro, get some ice cream.
Yep.
So
in
good.
between, I never did the ice cream piece, but in between class, like around lunchtime, I'd go get a Euro, and it was inevitable. I got some time to burn. They had the Blitz arcade in there.
Yep, because they had like 7 or 8 arcade games in the back.
Yeah. So I just did it when we were in college. But the fun part about it, and the reason it made the list, is because it's awesome in every aspect that none of the other games on my list are awesome. So clearly the other ones I liked that. They're completely different. Look at it this way. I guess the best analogy I can say for Blitz is playing Blitz is like watching an NFL playoff game when you don't have any rooting interest in either team and you don't care and you're just playing for the entertainment value and not like anything beyond that. Like,
you can't.
It didn't matter what team you were. There's no long-term things. Like, you're just playing this 20-minute game and it's just crazy and it's fun.
Yeah, and again, for those of you who haven't played it before, I mean, it is very much arcade. Like, guys are getting thrown around. You can do hit sticks, jumping across like almost half the field ridiculousness. And it was a escapist way of playing football at that point in time because you couldn't do an arcade game that was a traditional, like you weren't going to see Madden arcade games. It's just not set up for that way, right? But this was a quick hitting pile of ridiculousness. So, I think I came of age slightly before you, and by slightly I mean like a couple years, but as a result of that, didn't do as much of that level arcading. What I did do, though, was I played, because I had some buddies who had, like I got the Super Nintendo, had some buddies with the Sega Genesis. Sega Genesis had a them-only title back in the 90s called Mutant League Football. And this was kind of a precursor.
Never even heard of it.
Exactly. No, seriously. Get an emulator, screw around with it. The reason why is it's built in a Madden-ish style, right? And you're going to see me freezing up because apparently my phone is going nuts with people talking about soccer stuff, and it can't handle it. My computer and my phone are just being ridiculous right now. But at any rate, what you'll see is it's Madden style, right? But all of the guys, and there's like, I don't know, 6 teams or whatever, we're all mutants of some kind. So like aliens, whatever, you know, spiked creatures, etc., all that kind of stuff. And you're playing football normally. But there were also other quirks in the game. Like you could bribe the ref, and they would get like a 15-yard penalty for whining, which I thought was hilarious. And that was just one of those other little pieces of the game. So it was kind of halfway between. Like Blitz was complete absurdity in the arcade style. This was still somewhat grounded in football concepts with the absurd. Like you could, I don't remember all the bits and pieces of the game, but there was either explosives or potholes on the field that you could hypothetically hit as well. So it was definitely a ridiculous take on the more traditional football game that was like an early 90s game, like 93 or something like that. I think according to Wikipedia, let's see here. That came out, I'm not in order anymore, so yeah, don't remember. But somewhere in the early 90s was when that game came out, and it was just a pile of ridiculousness. Yeah, 1993. So, and that was EA as well. So EA basically took their Madden engine, put a bunch of mutants and aliens in it, and blew stuff up.
I don't hate that at all. I mean, I've never heard of it, but I would play it.
Every time a text comes in from this stupid group chat of people being beyond ridiculousness, like I can't read most of these. We'd get an E for sure. It's gumming up my computer. It's really funny.
Put your phone on airplane mode.
Yeah, I probably should do that. Yeah. All right, we'll do that while you talk about your 5th one.
Well, number 5 for me is a super interesting one. I think I told you about this before, but dude, I still have a ton of fun tinkering around with it from time to time. It's on my phone. Retro Bowl.
Yep.
It's
on my list too. That was actually next on my list too.
Oh, you got it at 5 as well?
Mm-hmm.
It is basically your mobile phone version of Tecmo Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's like a stripped down kind of version of that game, and they have a college version of it as well, which is a ton of fun too. So, and the college one, to its credit, now mind you, obviously you can do a lot more with a phone than you could with a cartridge back in the day when it comes to your processing power and everything. But they have in the college game all of the FBS and FCS schools. I mean, you have to kind of parse through the naming because they certainly don't have licensing for any of it. So you kind of have to guess on what schools are, but still.
And I gotta check.
It's good fun.
I gotta check.
And again, see because that you did like you in the Retro Bowl version, you're signing guys and you're drafting guys, and in the college version, you're recruiting guys based off of the credits and things that you have to go with. And so it's a legit game. And if you do like the dynamic difficulty, like it gets harder until you get to the hardest level.
And get this, I'm in year 20, week 4 with. I created my own team. I don't know if you knew you could do that on there.
Oh, no, I didn't know you could do that.
I am the Great Lakes Gorillas.
That is your standby, man. It's always fun. Got that same color scheme.
There's something, I think I stole this from, like, the New England Patriots. You know what I mean? Because it's a region.
Right.
And that's just A, it's cool, but B, like, it's a business. I mean, this is marketing. Like, why would you want to limit? So, like, think about it. The Detroit Lions, sure, it's the state of Michigan, but you're singling out a city.
Right.
Now go to Minnesota Vikings. Wow, now you got the whole state. Everybody feels a little bit more included, right? New England's got it where they took it to a region. So, like, I'm going to copy that model. So I did Great Lakes. What does that include? That includes Wisconsin, Michigan, Illinois,
including Illinois and Michigan,
Indiana, Ohio.
I mean, you got a couple states in there you're not a huge fan of.
Yeah, but give me money.
Right. Fair. And I understand that because one of my buddies that I went to college with grew up in Suttons Bay, which is north of
Canada.
Traverse. Right.
Canada could be in on it.
Hypothetically,
sorry,
you could get
I'm
Canadian
just talking
fans.
in. So.
Yeah. But Greg grew up in Suttons Bay, which is north of Traverse, and he is a Packer fan, even though he's from Michigan, because the only games they could get were Packers games across the lake.
That's how my brother-in-law is. That's
what I'm saying. If it was the Michigan Lions, or the Great Lakes Lions, better chance that people are going to be rooting for the hometown or home state or home region team. I agree with that.
See,
yeah, I'll have to see about that.
That was completely irrelevant from my take. Retro,
and I will say this
cool.
though, it's a little more realistic. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's free to play. I think the newest version of the Retro Bowls though are hooked into Apple's, at least on iPhones, it's hooked into Apple's Arcade. The newest version of the game, like you can get the older versions of the game. The newest version, you technically have to pay the monthly thing for the arcade to have access to it, but the older version you can still get a hold of, like which is what I have because I don't want to pay for it.
Same.
But that game again, it's not quite Tecmo Bowl because you can't throw 100-yard passes, but otherwise
you can't do that, and you can't do the up down run where nobody can tackle.
Right, exactly. Yeah, nobody's that fast, but you can get fast guys, and fast guys are one of the best ways to win that game. There's no doubt about that. Next one for me is 4. It's on to you.
Well, same one.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because we tag team that take. So 4 for me, and this is interesting. So I was a diehard Madden guy, right? Up until it was weird. It was like halfway through college, it was just like all of a sudden everybody just stopped playing it. But up until my childhood and through high school and the first couple years of college, like dude. Yes, when Madden came out, that was like a holiday.
Oh, yeah.
Like I wasn't working that day. I would go to, what the hell was the name of the place? It was next to, the name of the place I was trying to think of is Sam Goody Records, back when they had CD stores.
Yeah, back when you had record stores, yeah.
Next door was the GameStop.
Okay.
So I would go there at like 11:30 p.m.
Right, because midnight
they would open it up at midnight, and I had prepaid online, so you got to skip the line.
Right.
Is what it is. Like, I could even go there like 10 minutes prior. I get to go up front on prepaid, did the whatever special edition, you get to go get it. But I did that every year. So I could get it, and then I had that next day off work, and I'd go straight home and just all-nighter it. Madden. By the end of the day, I'd be into season 2. So I was a diehard Madden fan. So, and I consumed myself with that. So I never really got into the NCAA games. But guess what's weird? Towards the end of college, way post, like when I was super into Madden,
right?
I bought my first NCAA game, and me and my buddy Mike played the hell out of it. Probably skipped class way too many times. We were probably north of 40 years into it, where I created a player, he created a player. We recruited ourselves to the same school in which we created, which was complete blasphemy, if I'm even using that right. Because he's a diehard Sparty, I'm a diehard gold blue. So our team colors were blue and green. Rubbish.
Yeah.
Can't remember what our nickname was, but all things considered, it was the last one that you've already talked about. That's how late in the game I was. It was that 2014
2014, sure, yeah.
Yeah, and
that was one of the best.
For apparently I did. I was going to say I looked it up, and that was like the highest rated one ever, and that's the only one I've ever played, so I can't compare it to anything else.
Sure.
But we played the hell out of that for a couple of years for sure. Like I said, we're like 20 plus years easy into that.
Sure.
But yeah, man, we created our 2 versions of ourselves. It was fun.
There you go.
Because we had ourselves on offense and defense.
Oh, of course.
On offense, I think he was a wide receiver, so he wanted me to be a quarterback. So I was a quarterback. He was a wide receiver, yeah.
Yeah.
And then on defense,
catches every season, yeah.
Yeah, and on defense, we're both edge rushers. So.
Oh, right. There you go. That'd be fun.
So it was just absolute blast.
Right. And again, that's why people still like that game. Now, I'm going to give my take on that a little bit later because it's higher on the list for me. My 4th game, have you ever played John Elway's quarterback for the NES? No. Okay, that's on my list because that was the first football game that I have memories of playing. The weird things, right? From your childhood, you might remember some bits and pieces, merry-go-rounds, whatever, school here and there. I distinctly remember that the first time I actually won a game on John Elway's quarterback, before I found the little cheat code that they had, was 21-0 because I kicked 7 field goals. Because I couldn't figure out how to score a touchdown as a kid. I'm like 9 years old trying to play this game, right? So eventually I figured it out, right? And I crushed it once I got the hang of the game. But there was this one play you could do a reverse pass thing where it was more or less like a not quite a jet sweep, but kind of similar to that, only in the late 80s. And for whatever reason, there was a glitch in the code that when the guy caught the ball, he all of a sudden went like 5 times faster than they normally do. And so you just got the ball to him and it was touchdown every time. So once I figured that out, it was game over, right? But it was my lead into anything that wasn't just the LCD black and gray looking screen thing that you're trying to push 2 buttons on, kind of a thing. So that was kind of the formative years for me there.
And to take?
Yeah.
Okay. 3 on my list is probably the most influential game. It just wasn't the best. Man, maybe it's not.
I don't know, man.
That's a tough take. Anyways, 3 for me is Tecmo Super Bowl 1991.
Okay, so the first one is going to be on your list. Gotcha. Because there's the NES Tecmo Super Bowl. And then there's 2 and 3 that they put on. Well, they put the Tecmo Super Bowl 2 and Tecmo Super Bowl 3, the final edition, are both the Super Nintendo games. We'll get JP back in a minute. But again, like those 3 games. There's Tecmo Bowl was the first one that was kind of like they're dipping their feet in. Tecmo Super Bowl was the next one for NES. Both those were NES games. And then they made, I think they made a Super Nintendo version of Super Bowl. And then they did Super Bowl 2, Super Bowl 3, which was called the final edition, I think in the late 90s. Was their last entry into that series of games. And again, for those of you who don't know Tecmo Bowl, I have to imagine just about anybody who comes across the show is going to know it. But if you don't, get an emulator on your computer if you don't have a system and play it, and you'll understand how it was such a fun version of football that was just realistic enough to be legit and also just fantastical enough to be serious fun and silliness depending on the players and the teams. Let's just say, those of you who played that game know Bo Jackson.
Not this one.
The original, right.
Not that one. That one says 1988 on it.
Yeah, that's the old school. That's the original where you had like 4 plays and 8 teams or whatever.
That one. And it says 1991.
Yep. So and that was the first iteration of that version of the game.
This is going to be a longer take. Because this
Go for it.
I've mentioned this on a lot of older episodes, but this game, this freaking game is the reason that the Patriots are my second favorite team.
There you go.
It all started right there. Seriously. And the reason being is my brother and I would play this game, and we each had an AFC team. We each had an NFC team, right?
Right.
He, for whatever reason, older brother, I don't know, he got the first pick. Naturally, he takes the Lions.
Right.
And we snaked it. So he got the Lions, so I got the next two, right? And so for the NFC, I chose the 49ers because my two favorite players growing up were Barry and Jerry.
Barry was gone, Sanders. So yeah.
Barry's gone. I'm going to go Jerry Rice. But we played the game a little bit with the NFC first. I really learned how to pass. He really learned how to run. He had Barry Sanders. I had Jerry Rice.
Right.
So I sifted through the game and looked for like the stud wide receiver in the AFC. There's a guy named Irving Fryer and...
Oh, man.
Well, yeah, just Irving Fryer.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
One of the best possession guys of the day.
Andre Tippett, I get so many sacks with him on defense. So I would do the the passing guy. So I'm assuming if anyone's listening to this now, they're like, well, who was your brother's AFC team? Hell, he learns how to run like a complete idiot. He didn't take the Raiders.
That's the team you do.
Yes.
That's silly.
Because Bo Jackson. He loved himself some Thurman Thomas, dude. He was all Barry Sanders and Thurman Thomas, so he was Bills, and we were in that same division, and that even fed the reason I became a bigger Patriots fan, right? Because now my brother and I are both controlling a team in the same division, trying to win the division and have to, play each other, and it was tons of fun. And then you sprinkle in the fact that if anyone has listened, that my dad was a diehard Dolphins fan, and we just got to crush the Dolphins. It created this crazy in-house rivalry of just hatred towards the Jets. Dude, because we all had nobody had the Jets. You know what I mean? My brother played with the Bills. I played with the Patriots. My dad loved the Dolphins. Nobody liked the Jets, so we were united there. But just became a huge fan. And then I was like, as a little kid, I was like, where the hell is New England? Like, there's a team in Europe, is what I was thinking as a kid.
Right.
And that's when everybody explained it to me. I'm like, well, cool. What city are we talking about here? And they're like, well, it's close. Like you would think Boston area, right?
Right.
Even though it's Foxborough. And then that fed me into watching highlights of Bobby Orr. And then I just became this diehard Boston fan from a real young age. So that's why I say it's super influential, because it made my second favorite team. And the last thing, I'll say it quicker because I know it's a long take. Dude, because of this game is why we do this show in the order in which we do.
Yeah.
Because it's the way my brain worked from such a young age. Because when you looked at the screen, when you saw the screen where it showed all the teams, where you select your teams, it was like what's now, because they had the divisions were different. You know what I mean? Because you had the Central and whatnot in there. But it went very much in the order of AFC. AFC was on the top, NFC was on the bottom. And it was basically north, south, east, west. Right. So anytime we do the show and just the way my brain works seeing things, I go in the order of Tecmo Super Bowl.
There you go.
That's what broke me when you're like, no, we got to finish with the Lions, because I want to go No, because I want to go AFC, north, south, east, west, NFC, north, south, east, west. And you made me snake it. Yeah. And it threw a whole wrinkle, and you made me rework my whole... There's a new wrinkle in my brain, like a little neuron that fires differently because of you. That was programmed for decades, and you made me redo it.
Well, you decided...
Sorry, long take.
That's okay. What you just did sent me down a rabbit hole as well. And so I went to Tecmo Geek.
I need a drink.
Tecmo Geek breaks down what ratings were. Now, I'm not sure if this is for... I'm going to guess because it's players. It was this Tecmo Super Bowl that they rated as. Jerry Rice had a 44 run speed, which is about the fastest you're going to be for the most part. It's in the same ballpark at 44.
Which is hilarious because he was never fast.
No, which is interesting. But his max speed actually was one of the faster ones too. But his receptions were 81, which was tied for the best. Somehow they thought that Henry Ellard had the same.
Yeah, for the Rams. Trust
Henry
me.
Ellard's the same.
My brother. So let me do one more funny thing. So I started beating my brother in the game a ton. He couldn't beat me. So then he got convinced that passing was better than running.
Okay.
So he switched to the Rams to use Henry Ellard because he had the same catching as Jerry Rice.
Sure.
So to prove a point to him, I switched to the Raiders. And Bo Jackson the hell out of him and beat him still, and he got so mad.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Well, that was back when you could throw a Nintendo controller and it wouldn't break. So, you get away with that.
No, but it boomeranged back in your face because it was on a cord.
Well, we're also that, yeah. So you got to be careful with this kind of thing. It's like the game has changed for people. I just want to tell you, too, though. Irving Fryer, according to Tecmo Geek, is listed at 78 on the receiving rankings.
He's awesome.
78th on the receiving rankings. As far as the overall, the rushing rankings, though, right? Bo Jackson's obviously one. Right? You know who the number 2 in the rushing ranking is? If you're talking about running backs, wide receivers, running backs, wide receivers, and tight ends. Who's number 2? Do you think?
Oh, Barry probably. If not
Jerry
him,
Rice.
Christian Okoye. In rushing?
Yep. If you could have somehow gotten Jerry the ball,
he was the super cheat code dude.
Exactly.
Oh, dude,
he was. He and Bo were like the two.
My brother gets so mad because he would run way out there. He knew I was throwing it to Jerry, and he'd run way out, and then you'd just short throw it. And then Jerry just does that thing where the graphic shows him jumping like 75 feet up in the air and catches it. It was beautiful.
That. Yeah, super annoying. Barry was third on the list for the score, and that's because obviously he's right up there for everything else. But here's what I will tell you: the hit power for Barry not that high, right? Hit power for Bo Jackson only a 31 out of 100 for the hitting power. Now a lot of running backs were in the 30s, whatever. Christian Okoye, 94.
Yes.
It's so hilarious. You were talking about that last show. How people just pinged off of him, and that's what it was. So
that's tink.
All that to say, that's my number 3 as well, is Tecmo Super Bowl.
Oh, okay. Good thing I did a super long one.
Exactly. Taking too long on that. So, who's number 2 for you?
Number 2 is John Madden 96. Okay. And it's actually kind of a slash 97 because I think I went and looked over at the older games for the Madden collection because they're like the only ones I kept. I think I played 97 more than 96, but either way, it's kind of irrelevant. The reason I put 96 is because I was absolutely obsessed with the combine-like nature of the creative player mode where you got to you physically had to hit the buttons to run a certain speed to run the 40. You physically had to memorize the up, down, left, right, up, down, right. You had to get and that was your intelligence. Right, yeah, and you had to do the agility where you go to the left of the red, right of the blue, or in between if it was both or whatever it was.
Throw power, throw accuracy.
Yep.
Tackling was always one of the toughest things in that game.
The coolest and the funniest thing was just everybody always asked us if our friends came over and they're like, what happened to your controller? We're like, don't worry about it. So we didn't want anybody to know.
Right.
The AB button or whatever it was, because there's A, B, X, and Y, I think, on the Super Nintendo controller. Yep. They were completely grinded down, like someone sandpapered the hell out of it. There are permanent grooves in the controller. The reason is you could take a bottle cap, like a plastic bottle cap, so it's a little thicker. So I guess a Coca-Cola top,
20 ounce, yeah.
And you put it in between the two buttons, and you just rocked it back and forth as fast as you could. Dude, every player we created had max speed.
There you go. Yeah, see,
now it was just so funny cheating. I just want to tell you, dude, creating. A rookie was the best player in the game every time.
Exactly. I was able to get max speed without cheating. That was the one drill that I was
never
super
believe
good
it
at.
Until I see it.
Now we'll have to see. I'll have to see if I can find a non-ground down controller and show you. I got one. Practice a little bit, but
I have my secret controller.
Next time I'm hanging out at your place, man. If you still have 96, let's dust it off and give it a shot. And that was one of my games too.
I don't think I have 96. But 96 was the first time they introduced that mode, so I put that because I know I played 96 too. It's just the one I have is 97, so I'm assuming I played it more. I don't know.
Now, did you have another Madden as your top one? Or did you just use, was that your only Madden entry? Okay, gotcha.
100%.
So I'll come back to that. But yeah, Madden is 2 for me, but that's Madden in general is 2 for me. And those were the games that I grew up playing, was the mid-90s ones for the most part. So yeah, I have the same experience with you where, again, I remember I could throw the ball a mile. I could run super fast. My guys were smart. They had zero agility and couldn't tackle for crap. I don't know why. Those 2 games I just sucked at for whatever reason.
I could max every single category out except for one. So I never created this position because it really pissed me off.
Sure.
It was the throwing thing, like the timing of trying to get the
angle right,
cap,
the speed and the angle,
then stop and get the angle was such a pain. So like I could get it and max it out. Like I could get it. Don't get me wrong. Like I did it a lot, but getting every other drill right and getting that one right was just, dude, I got 99% of it. And you try again, you try again.
You basically had
the tackling one.
Yeah, you had Tim Tebow before Tim Tebow.
Yep.
There you go.
Pretty much.
All right. Yeah, and again, that was, for me, that formative piece of Madden. Now, I only have that for one Madden. There's one game that you've talked about that I haven't, so why don't you go ahead and do your Madden take to finish things off, though? I'm guessing the newer Madden games, or what?
I cheated. I got 2 for 1.
This does not surprise me.
And there's a reason why.
Okay.
So number 1 is Madden 99 / Madden 2004.
Okay. Explanation?
Madden 99 is literally the reason I kept going. So in 1998, if anybody's listening to the show, I got very, very interested in the NFL draft due to 2 players, Charles Woodson and Randy Moss.
Right.
I remember sitting in Rick's grocery store in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, cross-legged on the floor reading the draft magazine because no way my parents were going to pay for a stupid magazine about college players. So I'd sit there and I'd read that sucker, and I'd hide bookmarks in it, put it in the back. That way, like next time we win, I could pick up where I left off. Did that all the time. Nice. And I think the people who ran the store knew it because like they knew it because every time I went there, they'd come over and say hi to me and see me sitting there. Like they knew I was hiding that, and I didn't want anybody to buy it. I think they allowed it to stay there. I read that whole thing 100 times.
Nice.
But anyways, so that's where it started, right? And then immediately following me being obsessed with that, Madden 99 came out, and there's this whole thing called franchise mode.
There you go.
And I was like, what? I get to be a GM? And then the wheels were like, there's just no stopping this bus. There are no brakes on it. So here we are today, right? And nerded the hell out of it. And then in 2004, all of a sudden the owner mode came out, and you could nerd it even further, right? And I almost think maybe I like the franchise mode better than the owner mode because setting the prices of hot dogs and ticket sales and I didn't care so much about
that, some don't, yeah.
I did. I nerded it out big time, but I was like, you know what? This is too much. I want to focus on the building of the team, the players, drafting the guys, getting them to better and developing them. So I just put them both on there.
You're more of a GM than like an owner, let's be honest.
Oh, yeah. So you get it. That's why I did the 2, but that was the first year of those. But yeah, Madden 99 is basically between Madden 99 and Tecmo Super Bowl. That's why we're doing this for me personally.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and again, that's why if I ever own a team, you'll be the GM and we'll be good to go. I'll take care of the business things. You'll make the spreadsheets, obviously, but I'll take care of the businessy stuff. You take care of the football stuff. I mean, I'll have input in there. But, at the end of the day, people are going to be like, well, who owns the team? I was like, well, I do, but I trust him. Actually, you're over here.
Appreciate that. How many teams do you think have that relationship?
Well, I can tell you one that doesn't, and it's the Cowboys. But that's because Jerry doesn't even trust himself. But for me, as I go through this, number one for me is NCAA football. So again, still in the EA Sports realm. And again, we don't maybe have some other games in there. Some people loved the NFL 2K games when they had their run in like the mid 2000s.
Dude, I couldn't.
Before EA bought them out, basically. Didn't buy them out, but they bought out the rights to the game, to NFL.
It felt like that was like disrespecting Madden. Like it was a rival.
Good that it had.
Like, are you Madden or NFL 2K? It's like, are this or that? Like, are Coke or Pepsi? You know what I mean? Like anything, any type of rival you can come up with.
The reason why I'm disappointed that they got pulled from that, because they couldn't get a license agreement because Madden made an exclusive one, is because I personally believe, especially in that environment, competition is going to make the games better. I think they would have forced each other to innovate in ways that they haven't, because Madden's has been able to do whatever they want.
And then they would have been the same game.
Well, or they would have kept,
because they would have copied each other.
They would have kept copying each other, but they would have kept nudging each other in the right direction, as opposed to just making the graphics a little bit better, right? So NCAA football, which came back out again, I haven't played the newest versions of it because I just don't have time for that in my life right now.
Me either.
I'm no longer 15 with nothing to do. But the college things, I've always been more the college guy. You've always been more the pro guy. That's just kind of how it goes. It's like where we like our focus. But when I was in college in the early 2000s, I played like NCAA 2001 on a PlayStation, where the guys were kind of 3D, but also sort of boxy, and kind of had arms, but not really hands yet, and so all really stupid and silly. And you could take Central Michigan to the national championship. It took a while, but you could get there, right? And it was fun. You could create players at that point in time. Nobody had names, obviously, yet, but that was like my formative gaming years was in college, because, I had a lot of other things to do, but that was like my downtime was my decompression time, if you will, was playing a little bit of Madden and some other, it's not Madden, but NCAA football and some other stuff. And the fact that now they got rid of the microtransactions, right? 2027 seems like it's going to be a fun time. You can have mascots. You can have a guy who's going through like the actual process of going through the whole progression in college and all that kind of stuff. So they're expanding the games and making them bigger. And that obviously is a big appeal for the future if you have the time to do something like that. So we'll get into the second half here in a second, but I like that we managed to still talk for about a half an hour about football games, which I was not worried about.
The second half is going to probably go a lot quicker because it kind of like parallels what I just did.
A little bit. What do you think of your cow now that you've had a half an hour to digest her?
Oh, man. So here, the reason that I was so intrigued from the beginning is there's something to the way you pour that.
Sure.
Okay, because the silkiness, the mouthfeel of it,
right.
When the first 2-3 ounces of it was certainly a different mouthfeel than this.
Okay.
That I have now. And the original,
like less
when
nitro,
the mouthfeel
more nitro.
It's way less nitro. It's way the mouthfeel is more just like a flatter beer now, rather than like a silky, like still carbonated-ish type beer. But when I was sipping it up front, like you could get way more of the cream in there. Like it almost tasted like if you took a beer, like if you made a beer out of Whoppers, like the malt balls.
Yeah, sure.
With sense. Like a little bit of creaminess on there and that maltiness on it. Like it was awesome with a little bit of the dark chocolatey, like coffee flavors. Like all that was there, and it was awesome. And the mouthfeel like really sealed it. That's what was throwing me off. But halfway through this, I think the mouthfeel faded in a little bit of the malt, the Whopper, I guess. Is that what that candy's called?
Yeah.
Malted
milk balls. Yep.
And that's kind of faded a little bit, and it's leaning more into the Irish whiskey, like barrel aged thing, which is equally awesome as flavor.
Right. Different flavor.
No, it's equally as awesome. It's just the mouthfeel isn't the same. But nonetheless, I would totally. I'm gonna wait till I'm done with this whole thing, but I'm totally buying another one. Well, two, because I'm gonna get you one.
Right? Appreciate it, bud.
But this is a minimum of 3.5.
Okay.
Ceiling would probably be a 4, but I don't think it's gonna hit that. I'm thinking it's either a 3.5 or 3.75, but either way, for our ratings, that's a good beer, and I'm gonna actively go. I'm not gonna stock up on them,
right?
But
you can try to find another one.
I'm gonna get another one of these.
Right, exactly. As you should. So I have had some, and this is not intentional, it just kind of happened this way, because I was at Speakeasy, which is a place in Grand Rapids. It's kind of the unofficial soccer bar, watching all the World Cup stuff. One of the beers that they had there was from a brewery called Mothfire, which I've talked about before when I had that beer. That's down in Ann Arbor, right? And when I was at Mr. Peanut Butter Cups the other day, looking for more beer to drink, I came across other Mothfire beers. So this is a thing they actually do can and at least get around to our part of, or my part of Michigan, rather, hopefully yours as well. But they have one called Luna Daze. First off, you got to appreciate it's not quite tie-dye, but it's in that ballpark.
That's a fun can.
Right? Exactly. It's called Luna Daze.
It's kind of like Aurora Borealis.
Well, that's what they're going for, right? Because it's a Lucid Cloud double dry hopped IPA.
Okay.
I have no idea what a Lucid Cloud part means, but the double dry hopped IPA. is the important part with Michigan Copper and then Azaka, Citra, and Mosaic hops. And let me tell you what, this is a double dry hopped IPA, but it's also very much on the fringe of the hazy category. And the Lolo was the other one that I had, which is their hazy IPA. And I'll tell you this, from an IPA standpoint, they do a very nice job. Like, this is probably right around the 3.25, 3.5 range. Like, it's in the same ballpark where it's very easy to drink. It is a great beer to have on a hot day, unlike what you're drinking right now, which is still tasty, but also not necessarily a hot beer day. So very content with this one. It has some really nice flavors that are kind of hinting toward the good tropical fruits, not the ones you don't like, and that hint of hazy without fully on being hazy, but it still has the fact that it's double dry hopped and isn't as bitter as I was expecting it to be is an interesting kind of point of difference for this beer. So yeah, if you got some Mothfire, get a hold of it.
So, couple things. I went to check into this beer.
Have you read it?
Yeah.
Ha! Love when this happens. How many years ago was that?
I may March 17th of this year.
Oh, whoops. Were you out somewhere drinking it since somehow it was on tap?
We probably did it on this show for all I know. But at that time,
you had Horrocks and they poured it or something?
I don't know. I only gave it a 3 the first time.
Interesting.
The Nation is a 3.72. I don't have any friends that have ever checked into it, but I was reading the description on here, and yeah, they don't say Whopper like I did, but they say Malton, caramel, butterscotch, whiskey, coffee, nitro, smooth finish, blah, 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 blah. They say you're supposed to shake the can and then pour it hard.
Well, and again, the idea is you basically dump it straight. But the can tells
me different.
Yeah, do what the can says.
Nonetheless, I gave it a 3.5. The world gave it a 3.72. So outside of the first time I had this, which maybe it was bad, maybe it got hot, maybe I don't know.
Yeah.
But either way, this is a really good beer. I enjoy it quite a bit.
Well, there you go. And usually you are, closer to like 3/4 of a point or a point below what the general public tend to say. So
I grade a little harder. And maybe that's what I did the first time, but maybe it's a bad bet. I don't know. I like this. I stand by the 3.5 grade on it.
Sure. Well, yeah. Grab me one of those. I'll definitely give it a try. Like we did last show when I finally got to try those ones from Three Floyds. So the second half of the show, though, is we'll wrap things up here kind of on this discussion point. Now, while we've played these video games, and we obviously have things we remember fondly from those moments. In fact, there's one game I didn't talk about. This is my honorable mention. Did you ever play a game called Super High Impact?
No. So it's something where like a comet or an asteroid was coming to Earth?
No, it's a football game.
Then no.
Right, exactly. Nope. Another one of those early 90s games that was Super Nintendo Genesis kind of thing, and it was the precursor to like Blitz, but it was still a side scroller like you had for Tecmo. But the guys were normal sprites, so it was a weird combo with that. And put it this way, it was still trying to be a bit arcade-like, and so it was a bit fighty. And you could literally have fights where you tried to mash buttons to beat the other team, and then at the end of it, it would the announcer would come back, somebody get a body bag. And so it was just like it was such a
that's fun.
Yeah, it was an arcade game that got ported to console. And I think I must have gotten it like 5 years after it came out for $5 in a bin somewhere, right? So it wasn't a great game. It wasn't an NCAA it wasn't an NFL licensed game, but it was a silly version of football that just screamed 90s. And it was so spot on for that era, right? But that's my point. There were different weird features. I don't personally need a fighting version of the game. Like when you talk about things that the excessive we're going to talk about here is things that you loved, things that you hated, things that you wish they would have changed, things you want to add in. So one of those, I was going to wonder how long it was going to take you to figure out the lights, man. It only took you 48 minutes this time.
Golly.
I didn't say anything because I'm like, I wonder how long it's going to take him to remember the lights.
Sorry, I couldn't hold it in. You were in the middle of the take.
Love it. No, that's fine. It was good. I was waiting on that because I've just been looking at you in the darkness the whole time. I was going to let it happen rather than call you out. Next time I'll call you out. I just want to let that one go for as long as I can. But the other point that I remember.
Can I get a heads up? I'm going to put a note on my screen so it's never going to happen again.
There you go. But the other thing, too, I don't remember if you played the early enough Madden games to where when a guy got injured, the ambulance would come on the field and smoke players. They got rid of that at one point, which is sad. I was like, come on, man, that's part of the fun. That was silly. Tecmo, I think the original Tecmo Bowl, you could tackle guys in the end zone after they scored touchdowns, but they got rid of that too.
Yep.
So,
I did it every time. Game, man. Salty, just salty.
That's how you did it. So that's to lead us into what are 6 things you either like, don't like, or want to add into these games.
Oh, that's a wrinkle you never told me earlier. And if you did, I didn't listen.
All right,
I didn't know a lot to add. I'm going to have to think about that through the second half of this.
Okay, well, go ahead and give me your first one.
I only did one that I didn't like.
Okay.
Because I didn't want to be the naysayer.
That guy, right.
But there was just, and there was almost 2. You know what? I cheated on the 1. I'll cheat on 6 on this one. Okay. I don't know why, but there was something that was just mildly annoying to me for some reason about, and I honestly don't remember exactly how it works. I never played. I left it alone. Like I just didn't participate in it. Mm-hmm. But it was like when you were playing Madden and you got like those packs of cards and you could unlock like
I remember
the bronze version of Joe Montana or the gold or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
it was a way to try to get people to keep playing what they're going for. I imagine.
So that one didn't make my list, but if I were doing a second one that I didn't like, I just thought it was kind of corny or I don't know. They could have gone a different way about it. Yeah. Why do I got to get a bronze version? Like, why you got to give me the lesser version of Joe Montana? Like, if you unlock Joe Montana, you just unlock Joe Montana.
They're trying to get you to keep playing it to unlock other things. It's the whole, and again, it's just that's why you have microtransactions now. It's the whole way. How can I keep people going and get them to keep playing a game that could be repetitive if you're not as into it?
Yeah, and then it's just annoying though because
at all.
Because I think don't quote me on this because it's been a long time, but I felt like I would unlock when I was doing it. I would unlock these players and have them on my team, right? Mm-hmm. And then just trade them for a complete asinine amount of picks or players. Because it's like, dude, I don't want I want to build my team with new players that I draft or current players. Like I'm not trying, I'm trying to build a new, there, So, and that was another crazy thing that was silly. Like I was a absolute wizard at finding a way to package like my 6th pick with this random package of 2 or 3 players to get a 4th round pick and then take that 4th round pick with my 3rd and some other player. And before you knew I'd trade a bunch of players I didn't care at all about, and I would go into a NFL draft and have 7 picks in the first round. Like, dude, I'm gonna crush it. Like, just a wizard with that, because they would deny your trades. You had to get it to where they'd accept it. And dude, I was a wizard. I would sign the free agents and just battle them for dirt cheap. And dude, I'd sign so many free agents and not give them a signing bonus of any kind, so I didn't get a cap penalty. Trade them for a 7th round pick, but then you could package like 3 7th round picks for one
for however many
5th or something, and dude, I would do that. I would look at my transaction. I'd have 300 trades in an off season, and have spent things you nothing and taken no cap penalty. You can't do it in real life.
Well, and again, you could do some of that stuff in real life, but teams would figure it out. The computer wasn't smart enough to figure it out. Basically, it was taking every transaction at face value. So I
was hustling, man.
Yeah, you were the Madden equivalent of turning an eraser into a Lamborghini.
It took my brother forever. I swear he set up like a trail cam on me. He's like, how do you always get how do you have 10 first round picks? Like, what are you doing? I was like, they accepted the trades, dude. I don't know what to say.
There you go.
And then one day he caught me and he's like, I'm on to you. I know what you're doing. And then he started doing the same things. Like,
yeah, right. That sounds about right.
But anyways.
So my one thing that I didn't like, and I don't know because I haven't played enough of the newer games.
I didn't say it. Hold on. I'll just stop because that was a super long take. Because I cheated and then went into a side story. So the 6th thing, the thing I don't like, I didn't like the superstar mode. Okay. I just didn't because that was locked in on a player, and the college thing would be the player, the coach. Like you said, I'm more of a GM. I don't want to just control me. Yeah. I want to build this thing. Right. You know what I mean? I want to draft it, trade it. So I guess that is kind of relevant because I worked you know what I mean? But go ahead.
So you're telling me you didn't want to just play as a guard for 4 years?
Nope. I tinkered with it. I made myself an edge rusher and did it. And I was a linebacker. I made myself a linebacker.
That makes
naturally. Sense. And I think I got 2 seasons in. I was like, dude, I want to control the whole team. I'm on this team and I'm a beast, and this team sucks. My GM's a moron.
There are guys who feel that way in the NFL these days. Don't you worry about that. But my least favorite thing that I remember from the older versions of these games, and I don't think I think they've wised up, or not wised up. The games are more adaptable now, and the ability to have nuances there. But do you remember the years of Madden when there was just like, there's no chance you're winning this game because the computer just decided screw you? Do you ever have the screw you computer games? Yeah, that doesn't. I don't think it happens now. But you have a run going, and the computer's like, you're losing this game. 3 fumbles, 2 interceptions, and someone broke their leg and flew off the screen.
Dude, I would pause it and like have to walk away and galaxy brain it. And I would say on those games, at least 50% of the time, I could find a way to still get the win. And I know that computer was giving me the bird because it's like, I don't know. But like, yes, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
Random, right? There wasn't necessarily rhyme or reason.
Like, all of a sudden, Jerry Rice can't catch a freaking ball that hits him in the numbers. Okay.
Mm-hmm. All those things, yeah. So that was the big piece that I think the games have gotten better about, moving away from that being a bug in the system, because now you actually do have the ability to build that kind of stuff in better than they used to. So that was one thing that really bugged me. That was my one big negative from back in the day. What's 5th on the list for you?
5th, so it's all positive. That was my only negative one, even though I snuck in a double negative there to make it positive. See what I did there?
Well done.
5th for me, the hit stick, dude.
Oh, sure.
I love, and not to be confused with the truck stick, which would have been probably the 6th most positive thing on there.
Sure.
And I think, don't quote me on this, I think the truck stick was introduced post hit stick, but I didn't care.
Hit stick was first. Yeah.
Hit stick, dude, because I was like a linebacker, you know what I mean? And I got to hit stick somebody, and I got to be on the other end of the pancaking a dude and watching the ball pop out and doing the forced fumble. Like, oh, I loved it. I'd hit stick.
I don't know if you noticed.
Casey, I'd hit stick him. Dude, he would always. What year was it? What's the universally loved Madden game where it had Michael Vick on it? Because he's faster and everything.
No, dude, was 4 or 5, something like that. One of those years.
Whatever it was, Casey was. I get it. Vic was a cheat code and way too fast and this and that. Right. But Casey was too predictable on his angles, and he would do the same thing all the time. So I would I'd do a creative player mode, create myself, make myself pretty good. And I'd take the right angle to where I could catch Michael Vick and hit stick him, make him fumble every time, dude. And he gets so pissed.
That's
so
great.
Pissed.
And again, for those of you who haven't, we told some stories, like we love Casey, but man, he's just an easy guy to wind up sometimes. You catch him in the right moment, and you just do it, and you let it just wind him up and let him go. It's a great time. I use
Patrick Willis a lot for that too.
Sure, yeah, that makes sense. That tracks.
Yeah, because he's
Patrick
fast.
Willis was
he's
actually
a fast linebacker.
Yeah. He's fast enough to get there. Yeah. Hit stick, truck stick. The trucking thing is such a
Oh,
deal now.
no.
You can truck in Retro Bowl now, by the way.
Isn't Patrick Willis the one who actually broke Michael Vick's leg?
I don't remember. I'm going to look that up while we're talking about this. But no, dude, seriously. Well, the hit stick thing, the truck stick, you can truck stick in Retro Bowl now.
Yeah, you slow down a little bit. You hit back and it slows down. Yeah. Ton of fun. All right, you're up.
Who broke Michael Vick's leg? It was a right fibula. It was Adalius Thomas. It was not Patrick Willis.
Was him.
And that was a preseason game. Yep. Tough stuff, man. One of the many things in Mike Vick's career that was tough stuff for him, right?
Yep.
We're not defending any of that other stuff. I will say that some of these I'm gonna do 2 in a row because both of these are ones that we've talked about already. So I'm just gonna knock these out real quick.
That's how my last 2 are gonna go.
Okay, cool.
Actually,
5 and 4
almost
for me.
all of mine are like that now.
Stuff we talk about, right? 5 and 4 for me. The ability to create the teams, create players, be able to do that stuff that is like the putting your own stamp on a game, right? Whether it's a guy in the college, especially when Madden did or EA Sports did the whole thing where you could create a guy in NCAA, take him through college, have him go to the NFL in Madden and carry that whole thing through.
That was I forgot about that. That would be on my list. I did that a ton. Actually, side story. I'm gonna piggyback off it. Me and my buddy Jeff, not my brother Jeff. This is at CMU. We would do that quite a bit in import. And it's crazy. It was the draft. Google this. Google Cadillac Williams and Antrell Roll.
Right.
Because we did it, and we did it until we made sure he got Cadillac Williams and I got Antrell Roll. So he was the Auburn guy, and I was the Miami. So this was 2005. Yeah, I made sure I got Antrell Roll and did that same thing.
That worked out better for you.
They
when you
both
think about
were
their
as good
careers,
as nearly as good as we thought they were going to be.
Cadillac Williams, 5th overall pick. Let's not forget about that.
My boy Antrell Roll went in the first, didn't he?
Yeah, but Roll had a slightly better career than
that's fair.
Than Cadillac.
Not I forgot about that. Better. That would totally make this list. I'm not sure where, but it would.
Right.
So superstar mode. I don't have any negatives. I just got kicked out.
Right. Yeah. So that's the thing. Like that was fun, and all of those pieces of being able to control more than just playing a season, right? So, and the other one for me too is we talked about this, the combine games, like having that as a piece. Now and again, I think you'd have to nerf it a bit now from where it was in 96, 97, where you could create a rookie who would go in and destroy the league. Like that's a bit unrealistic just because of how the NFL is set up. But being able to have a guy that
basically create a mode
85 or something.
Create a player mode where you physically have to do it, and then let a 7-year-old kid go try to beat it, so you know what to like. Okay, we got to space the buttons out so you can't use a freaking bottle cap to get 100 speed. Like just let the pilot it with a 7-year-old kid for like 2 weeks, and then you'll figure out what to change.
Well, the other thing too is like what you basically need to do is, whatever your create a player is created at, even if they're maxed out stats, it's still like an 85 or an 88 or something tops. Like they can't top out at 100 as a rookie, right? That would be where that difference could be made. So that's another point in for us. So what's number 3 for you?
3. I'm on 4.
Okay. What's number 4?
6 and 5. 4 for me is something that's kind of similar to the create a player mode where you had to do what we were just talking about, but it was the mini camp mode, where it was basically the create a player mode just for current players and not rookies, where you take them into camp and you do all the drills and you try to increase their development. You know what I mean? Their off-season development to where they get better. Really like that. That happened. Excuse me, I'm battling beer burps from hell right now.
Hey, there you go.
That was Madden 03.
Okay, gotcha.
When they first did that, like that one. And you did 2 in a row, so I'll do 2 in a row because these two coincide quite well. 3 for me is the create a player mode from 1996 that I am now going to start calling bottle cap mode.
Bottle cap mode, I like it. Yeah. That sounds good.
Yeah.
I will tell you this though. One of the pieces along those lines, we've talked about this with what you were talking about with the NFL Blitz, what I was mentioning with the Mutant League, and then even with Super High Impact. I think that every version, including Madden, including whoever makes a game, should spend a little extra time, a little extra development in there, and create an arcade version of the game. Like you can play arcade mode, right? Where it's just silly. Like where Pat Mahomes can throw the ball 100 yards, where Lamar Jackson makes guys break their ankles, literally in-game break their ankles. Fine way, Derrick Henry would basically be the next evolution of Bo Jackson.
Pat Mahomes and Josh Allen can damn near throw the ball 100 yards.
Well, there you go then. That's my point. Yeah, so that would be accurate, right? But that's my point. It's like creating the silly version of everybody amped up, right, in the game. That would be fun to have. That's my what I would like to see. Like Madden should have that. Everybody
Blitz NBA Jam style version.
Pretty much, yeah, in that ballpark, yep.
Oh, NBA Jam, heating up. Oh, I love that.
That's a whole nother show. We might do like a overall sports game show at some point. Maybe
NBA Jam would be in my top 6, 100%. Yeah, don't know where it would be in there. That was fun. Fair. That was my favorite basketball game ever.
Yeah, it was silly and it was great. Yep. Agreed.
All right, so is it my turn?
Yep.
I'm going to do top 2 at the same time, because we've already talked about them both. So 2 would be the ownership mode, and 1 would be the franchise mode. They're basically the same thing. I just thought that the ownership mode, I thought it was going to be cooler. More cool? Is cooler a word?
Yeah, cooler's definitely a word.
Doritos use it. It's Cooler Ranch. Isn't that what it is?
I mean, that's the other ones. There's Cool Ranch, there's Cooler Ranch.
Oh, cool. Oh, there is? Let's see. I don't know. I've had those.
Also, you have plenty of coolers, dude.
Aha.
Nice
work.
Gotcha. There.
So anyways, I still think I like franchise mode in 1999 better than the owner mode in 04. The owner mode allowed me to geek it out a little further, but I found out that I was geeking out things that I didn't really care about.
There's a level of detail.
So it's like, damn, I want to go back to the franchise mode here. I don't care about how much you're paying for a damn hot dog. Like if it were me, you know me, be like, dude, hot dogs are free.
Well,
give them to the
this
people.
Is why
you're already paying enough for the ticket.
I tell people, like, this is one of the things that I will say to Arthur Blank's credit in Atlanta, the owner for the Ravens. He actually keeps concession prices at something resembling logic. and not insanity like everywhere else. So I will always defend the man for that. Maybe not for his choices on how to manage the team, but how to manage concessions. That man should be teaching a class for everybody.
You just settled the debate on which team I like more between, because that division, I've always said it's hands down Tampa Bay, then it's hands down Carolina, and it's like, I don't know between New Orleans and Atlanta.
There you go.
New Orleans
is cheap beer and a hot dog. I like it. Yeah, and that's actually carried over with the World Cup right now. Atlanta is the only stadium that has rational pricing still, because FIFA probably. I think FIFA wanted them to do everybody else's pricing, and Atlanta's like, nah. If you're gonna have a game here, you're doing it our way, because that's how we do things here. And I give them full props for that, for hanging on.
Yep.
So I would agree with you, by the way, that the whole being franchise able to do that ownership mode, franchise mode, is definitely one of mine.
Yeah, I got franchise above owner, just because owner's a little too far, but they're both sweet.
Right.
Like, now, had they never done franchise mode and only had owner mode, then owner mode would have been happy.
Yeah. You would have just put up with the things you didn't want to do. You just do them, right? But that's where it's like there's a level of that detail that you don't necessarily, not everybody wants to get into. Some people who do the sim games, that's what they love, is all of those little nuanced pieces, and they don't really care about the gameplay as much, right? So that's why you have to have those options. You try to find the sweet spot as a game. But that's funny you mentioned the whole details you don't care about. One detail that I think would be fun to have, and they've dabbled here and there with it, but I'd love to see some of these games go deeper into this, and I think NCAA 27 is starting to do that a little bit, just what I saw, because somebody tweeted something about this, but or X'd it, whatever you want to call it now, is having personality management of players be more of a thing. Like where guys, like a guy isn't starting, so he's pissed. Or a guy you have events throughout the year where it's like,
that's on Retro Bowl.
Right,
where
exactly.
You get the angry, it's like the emojis of the faces, and then when it's like that blue or green face, it says toxic.
Right, but again, it's like same thing goes. Like, but if you give the guy the ball more, he's happier, right? It's a very stripped down version in that game. Yeah. But there was actually something that just came out this week too. There was a player, I don't remember which team he's on, and again, I love that I can see myself freezing right now. So apologies again. I muted. Well, here's the problem: because I have a MacBook and I have an iPhone, putting my phone in airplane mode does not matter when I'm on Wi-Fi, because it's still going to send all the messages through. That's just my personal little mess that I've got to deal with right now. But that being said, there was a guy, and I'll see if I can send you a screenshot, but there was a player someone was playing 27, and obviously it's now current players who are in the game are playing in 27, and there was a guy, there's like a defensive lineman or whatever, that like this bubble pops up as the guy's doing his coaching or whatever. Dude's like, I'm having a tough time because my girlfriend just broke up with me, and somebody screenshotted and sent it to him, and this dude posts like 27, what the crap kind of a thing, because this dude's broken up with his girlfriend. So they're starting to go that route with the game, although it's very interesting to see this in real time where it's players who are currently in college getting hit with this kind of thing. So that is something I wanted to see more of. They're starting to go that direction, and it gives a different dynamic to how you go about using a player or having, like, for example, A.J. Brown. Maybe you saw his stats dip over the course of last year because he was disgruntled with the Philly.
Because they don't throw the ball.
Well, sure, but that's my point. It's like, so maybe he's disgruntled because of that. You have different guys in different situations. You could have seen Antonio Brown's like mental capacity just drop as he got hit in the head too many times.
You mean Brandon Ayuk?
No, him too. But I'm talking about Antonio Brown back, AB, who was an amazing receiver and then got hit in the head too many times. Is now potentially a little bit clinically insane. I'm not sure exactly. We have to talk to somebody who's actually certified for that kind of stuff. But yeah, that's my take on that. I think that we managed to talk for an hour about video games, which shows you how big of a deal.
7 minutes.
Exactly. It shows you how big of a. What about the first 7 minutes was us getting into it. But it shows you how big of a deal it was for us as growing up. And I think there's a lot of people out there too who either grew up playing football games or are currently playing football games and want to be a part of things. It's one of the reasons why we love this so much.
So I completely forgot to
wrap it up.
I said I was going to wrap the show up with what I would like to implement into a game.
Yeah.
Completely forgot to. Never gave it a single thought until you were doing that thought right now. And it's like, shit, I got nothing.
Okay.
So I'm going to default to just a weird idea that I think we've joked around about. Well, joked around, kind of serious about for several years now, and I think it's even been mentioned, and I assume because it has maybe been talked about in like the pro sports circles. But what if there was a way where you're going deep into this franchise mode or even an ownership mode, whatever it may be these days? I haven't played in a couple of years Madden, to be honest with you.
Sure.
To do like the change the like the salary cap structure, like the way we're talking about it, where it's almost like a you almost do like the NBA like max deal type thing.
Oh,
even though I
okay,
think the
gotcha.
NBA is garbage because too many players become eligible for max deals when they're not max deal player.
And it's not
but
a cap; it's like a salary suggestion.
Yeah,
they have the luxury
and
stuff
I'm just
you can
saying.
go into and
What if you just had like tiers? You know, like so you're on the Lions right now, right? And I'll argue against this too. But Jahmyr Gibbs is up for a contract.
Sure.
Right? So, like, yep, you're in the elite tier, so you're eligible for this percentage of whatever the salary cap is. And that's the max. So there's no, like, official dollar amount. Like, I'm not saying I'll give you this much. No, I want this much.
Sure.
No, I'm going to give you this percent. So your contract's going to evolve over time, which could be trickier to manage. I don't know.
To an extent,
so,
yeah.
Like,
well, especially
what
because
if
the
you
way
say
teams
like
do it
Jahmyr
now.
Gibbs is eligible for 10%?
17%. Okay.
I don't know. I
Sure.
hadn't explored that far, but so that means as the salary cap goes up, he's just going to get raises as he goes. You know,
Yeah, that would
just
change the
naturally.
dynamic because right
So,
now
like,
you'll see.
to me,
teams-
it could be like, would you see a Jahmyr Gibbs be like, I'll sign a 10-year contract, and they're like, for how much? And like, we'll see. Whatever the NFL rate, you know, whatever the cap is,
and that's going to
be 10% of whatever it is.
Yeah, like that's the thing in the NBA because guys sign at different times based off like Nikola Jokic out in Denver. I don't think he signed his latest deal because of the way it's structured, where he's gonna make an extra $40 million if he waits till next year because of the way that the stuff is written. So same kind of thing. Well, does Gibbs sign a 10-year deal, or is it after X number of years and X number of all pros or Pro Bowls that you have escalators in there? So like that would be an interesting component because right now you see teams like the Kansas City Chiefs locking down Pat Mahomes for a decade because they're trying to get a cheaper number later. Like now it might be a little bit of overpay, but they think 5 years from now when the salary cap is an extra $40 million, $50 million, this deal looks all right. Right. And that's kind of where you see like, teams doing it now. And that's why you get weird cap gymnastics.
And maybe it's a thing where there isn't a year on it. Just be like, I'm signing with the Lions. Hey, I'm a play here till I can't play or something. You know what I mean? And
well,
there's no set length on.
Yeah, they wouldn't do that.
You could say
no player would do a set length because of the way that you do with a guaranteed versus non-guaranteed, and especially for a running back. Man.
Loyalty.
So
basically, what I'm saying is, I find a way to build loyalty into the team.
Sure. Yeah, if Jahmyr Gibbs could get a contract, if he could get a contract that said 10 years guaranteed, he would sign it tomorrow.
Right. But I'm just saying, hey, you got a guaranteed 10% or whatever the percentage is for every single year you want to play here.
Right. And again, Jahmyr Gibbs would sign that.
So like he couldn't go, you're not going to go get any more anywhere else. Like this is the max you can make, and it's going to change every year as long as you can play football.
Right. Well, and again, as long as he couldn't have
the
that
reason I'd
max
argue
number go
against
up later,
that is like injuries happen, man, and then that would have nothing after that. So as soon as the player gets hurt, then he's only paid through that year and he's done. Like that's kind of that's tough. Well, I don't know. You'd have to figure it out.
Yeah, and have escalation on the other side too. That's another world of sports that we choose not to usually get into because again, we don't even trust most of the numbers we see come out of the NFL. Anyways, just a reminder: anybody out there, you ever see a contract in any sport? Just about any sport. I think baseball, they're fully guaranteed. Everywhere else, there's a number.
Baseball is that Ohtani dude. I'm not a baseball guy.
Oh no,
he's getting paid. He's getting paid like he's got a $7 billion contract.
Oh no,
right?
the Major League Baseball.
And he's getting
the
paid.
Most messed up.
He's getting paid 2 years or $2 million a year straight up until like 2034. And then after that, he's making $68 million a year for like the next 5. I was looking at
Major League Baseball. That is the biggest. Again, that's a whole other story, right? Major League Baseball, and we'll finish up again. People probably sign up and out, but Major League Baseball has a problem. Obviously, you're going to probably see a lockout from the owners because they want a salary cap because they can't trust themselves.
Yes, they
because
should,
they've
it should
allowed
be an even playing field.
Well, you say that, but at the
That's
same time,
why I don't get into baseball.
Players don't want a salary cap because they don't want. Well, here's the thing: what they should have. This is my take on this. They should have a salary floor. Every team should have to spend X number of dollars, and then go from there. If you have a salary cap,
I will never watch it like I do the NFL or hockey until you give me a hard salary cap. You cannot go above it.
So you are
every
for
team
the
gets
owners,
the same.
not the players. Gotcha. You're for all the rich old men. Gotcha.
No, make the salary cap as high as you want it. Make it as high as you want.
That'll never happen. The owners
so find an owner that can afford it. Or an owner
that's
not
happening.
A cheapskate.
That's what's happening
for the players. I just want it to be. I want to be for the players and the fans. Right. And it's tough to be a fan of a team if you're in a tiny little market.
Oh no, I agree.
When you're going against the Dodgers and the Yankees, who can just buy a championship.
Sure.
That's why college football. Damn, we're going to be going for 3 more hours. That's why college football
can go away now if they want to.
Almost silly to me now too, because you can just transfer portal the hell out of it and pay
right. Yeah, we've talked about
Texas,
that ad nauseum.
Like Texas Tech, come on.
Yeah. Well, and again, it's because any system that ever gets put in place, people are going to try to find their way around it. Oh yeah,
I'm not trying to say they don't.
Everybody does it at whatever level they can, right? Like in the MAC, you're going to do it at a $10 million
I want it to be
level.
The same for whatever level you're in. It should be the same. Every MLB team should have the same amount of money to work with.
You know who agrees with you in college? Ohio State would love it if everybody only had the same amount of money to spend, because then they can just say we're Ohio State and everyone's going to go there instead. So I see the nuance.
Build a better program so that you can compete.
But can you build a better program when everybody's at the same level? Do you think Indiana would have won a national championship if they had a salary cap the same way?
No.
That's my point. So the fact that you're locking teams into tiers is a problem for me. That being said, to get back to where you're coming from with the baseball thing, we'll get on the salary cap.
Got to hire the right people.
Well, sure, that'd be great, right? But would Signetti get a job? So that's a whole rabbit hole to go down. But I will tell you this much: from a baseball standpoint, the fact that the MLB is allowed deferred contracts is the biggest mess that they have, in my opinion.
Yes.
Because a guy like Ohtani should not be able to get most of his money after he's done playing. That's why we have Bobby Bonilla Day in Major League Baseball still. This is a guy who hasn't played since I think the 90s, early 2000s.
He's still getting paid.
He's still getting paid for another decade, like $1 million a year or whatever, because of the way that contract was structured. That's the biggest problem. You get rid of that to be step
complete
one.
Garbage.
And you go from there, right? And so that's a whole nother mess. But yeah. So suffice to say, if you were going to have that in a football game, we're going to have some rules around it. But I do like your tiered idea. We're going to have to talk about that a little more next time. We were good to go about 10 minutes ago. So for those of you who hung around the whole time, we appreciate you. We're going to get back to things that are more football related and then beverage related as we go through the next few weeks. But dude, I'm not kidding you. We are 3 weeks away from the start of preseason football. Can't be
coolest
happier
thing I heard
about
all
that.
day.
We're going to get you back on track.